And it's time to start talking to coaches. It's great to have a man who's he already had 6 a.m. weights. The sweat is already dry. He's been up so early. Jake Dickert, head coach of the Cougs, joins us once again on the show. Coach, welcome. Good morning.
Thanks for having me back on. I'm just getting back into my coaching voice. So I was yelling a little bit this morning, so ready to get rolling. I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, we definitely want coaching voice. This has been a very busy. I mean, since we last talked, very busy from a signing day standpoint. Certainly a coaching staff standpoint as well. Are you starting to feel like everything's kind of settled in the place where it should be now as we start February?
Yeah, we just had an opportunity to announce the full staff yesterday, and we had some guys, even some quality controls and support staff that just got off the plane a couple of days ago. So excited about what we built. We know coaching consistency is going to be very important to our success going forward, and I truly believe we got the right men and women in our program, to lead going forward. And the common thread was a lot of them were coming back home. Jeff Schmedding from Spokane, Nick Edwards from Tacoma. Just excited about, those coaches and what they're going to bring to our program.
How about offensively in Ben Arbuckle, one of the youngest coaches in the country? His offense was one of the best in the country a year ago. What does he do now with Cameron Ward and these incredible receivers we want to hear about that you got via the portal?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, Yogi. It was about taking a step forward on offense. It was making sure that we brought in a hire with great energy. Obviously, his offenses have executed to a really high level. They've been extremely explosive. And those are three common threads that we need to do to take a step forward on offense. And it really all surrounded Cam. I didn't want it to be a restart. How do we bring in someone that knows the core of the modern air raid, puts his own spin on it? I love Ben's energy. I love his connectiveness with the team and the staff already and how he goes about his day-to-day. And then there's a lot of detail that's going to be needed to make sure that we're going to that next level. So I think there's energy and just a refresh throughout our building. And I think Coach Buckle, as I call him, is one of those guys.
All the other defensive coaches, of which that's who you are at your core, are going to be like, Coach, we had the number 1 passing offense in the league. We had the number 3 passing offense in the league. We had the number 6 passing offense in the league, in this league. And now you bring the guy who coordinated the number 2 passing offense in the nation into our league. So you're making life very difficult on all your defensive guys around the league.
Yeah, everyone else needs to feel the same pain that we do week to week when we're watching some of that film. And like I said, it's about Cam's progression. What's that next evolution of Cam? He's now comfortable here in his surroundings and being here. And now it's just, where can we go? And how do we keep polishing the rock with all that talent? And then how can we shore up the offensive line like we feel like we've done, and then provide them with a bunch of new weapons, that we feel like they can get on the same page and do some real damage in our league.
All right, some of those weapons: Isaiah Hamilton, Josh Kelly, Kyle Williams. What have you noticed at 6 a.m. in today's workout about them, those 3 receivers? And what do you hope they'll do with this offense you just described?
I think the biggest thing is there's an urgency to all 3 of those guys. And I believe there's an urgency to our whole wide receiver group, Yogi. From Lincoln Victor and Leighton Smithson coming back, adding an early enrollee in Carlos Hernandez, because the number 1 thing you want on a team is competition. And I think there's not a single person in that group is even remotely satisfied with what we put on the field last year. And as a coach, that's exciting. That's why we got coach on our sleeve. But Kyle brings that explosive, over-the-top playmaking ability that we desperately need. Josh Kelly the same way. So there's going to be a lot of inside, outside, and I think Isaiah gives us some stability to replace a lot of that production of Renard and Rob, that have departed, But also guys like Orion Peters that we already have on the roster and Zion Nunley, it's time. They've been here for a reason. They're heading into their 3rd spring, and I believe that's when you see players really, the game slow down and you can see who they are really destined to become. So I'm just really excited about the competitiveness of that group and where they can go, because competition brings out the best in everybody.